Yes, we're overnight on 3AW, and we're joined by our media man, the man whose eyes sees all and says all too. No fear, no favour. It is Nick Hayes. Good morning, Nicholas.
There's a little bit of fear on occasions there, Andrew, but yeah, that's no fear, no favour. Good evening, Andrew. Good evening, Mark.
You're a tough man, Nick. You're a tough man.
Occasionally, your wife tells me there was a little wobbling of the lower lip when you do some of these reports, but mostly it's without fear or favour, and we respect you for it, sir. Now, the Malaysian Airlines disaster is, of course, hugely in the media this week.
I'd be remiss of us not to mention it at this stage. I know that we mentioned last week we'll try and get onto something a little bit more positive, but this is the number one issue for the week, and without any doubt will be the number one issue for the year. I don't think there's going to be any other issue in the media that is going to be bigger than this one. And look, a little bit of a development obviously during the week. They're getting the people over there. Another Australian added to the fatality list there, but having a dual citizenship there, so that was a little bit sad. Andrew, I was listening to one of the talkback callers after the program, after I spoke to you last week, and mentioned that I might have been blaming those that were the victims. That was never my intention at all. I think it was just that the Malaysian Airlines decided, with a few other airlines, mind you, to fly over this war zone. And I just felt, and what many others have felt, is that they put their passengers at risk. And, you know, when you're flying over a war zone like that, you are putting your passengers at risk, and never had any suggestion there that those that did suffer or who were the victims were to blame. I mean, it's that simple as that. But look, the Malaysian Airlines, number one issue for the year, and hopefully they are, and we can see more developments happening. We're going to be seeing a lot more development and also people coming back. And it's been a big one there for also too Tony Abbott and Julie Bishop in that the diplomacy side. We've mentioned that Tony Abbott was coming of age with leadership here. It's been one that we're still continuing to see some good leadership coming from the federal government, and it's a great opportunity for us to see them really flex their muscles and make it actually work and get our people back.
Yes, hopefully it does all work out there. All right, now to another huge week in politics, of course, and also dominating, unfortunately, in many ways the media scene.
We love her.
Yes, we do. Yes, I suppose. With that, yes, Jacquie Lambie, former military policewoman, I read. And now Senator from Tasmania. What do you think?
I don't think you'd have to be hiding under a rock all week if you hadn't heard this story. But obviously, Jacquie Lambie did an interview on an FM radio station in Tasmania. She hasn't dated for almost 10 years, and the radio station decided, well, we'll try and find a partner for you. What would you describe as your perfect man? Well, the perfect man has lots of money, is very well endowed, and doesn't talk a lot. And I don't know too many of those blokes there, Andrew, Mark.
No, not too many at all.
No, not putting your hands up. Okay, well, you know, that was if a male had said that, and I don't care if it was a male politician or anyone had come out and said that, the double standards that are being set here is just unbelievable.
Yeah, big time.
She could go away and say that, and the Prime Minister does a little wink to the broadcaster on another radio station to acknowledge that the woman has mentioned that she was a sex worker. And you would have thought that the Prime Minister was going to be hung, drawn and quartered.
My favourite comment is Sarah Hanson-Young describing him as a creep for doing it.
You know, look, I've got a bit of a different angle on this and different view. I like it when politicians show them real selves, the real essence of who they are. But I think what Jacquie Lambie did, you know what, you can't hide poor taste. She's just, she reeks of it, poor taste, and unfortunately, that's always going to be there. But you know what I really like about Jacquie Lambie?
What?
She just said what she felt. She actually said it how it is.
Yes,
and quite frankly, you sometimes get a little bit bored and tired of the rhetoric that comes out of some of our politicians when they just say what the party line says they've got to go away and say. Now, you know, in Jacquie Lambie's defence too, she was on an FM station. They were having a little bit of fun. I think that the whole issue has really completely blown out of the water. But I still don't like the fact that if a male had said it, he would have been kicked out of the party. And that, to me, it's taken feminism to one end, and the male cannot get away with anything.
This has become more and more, I've noticed in advertisements and in general radio broadcasting, and certainly in television too, where men are now more and more sort of like the brunt of the jokes. Maybe it's the girls getting their turn after men's behaviour towards women in many cases in the media in the past. I don't know, Nick.
Yeah, but most males are scared to say anything now, in fear that they'll actually offend or be brought to task on anything that they do say that might be slightly politically incorrect or slightly, even a little bit of humour. I mean, this is taking it way too far. But look, poor taste. She does appeal to a certain characteristic in the Australian psyche, the bogan, and she is getting a lot of praise from those that have and do support her. They like the way she talks. They like the fact that she's honest, and she represents a very different mould of politician that we've seen in the past. So, look, you've got to give her credit. You've got to give her credit for the fact that she actually says it how she sees it. It's just unfortunate. She's just a little bit... She's not advised very well, but I tell you what, I don't think there's any money in the world that could make or help them on the media advisory side. I tell you what, I wouldn't take up the job.
No, being on the Lambie staff, I don't know, spin doctor for him. I don't think he'd last long, Nick. Now, we might ask to our listeners what they think of that too. We'll talk about that a bit later. Now, to the Commonwealth Games, are the figures good for us, as far as television goes?
They're good. They're good numbers. Didn't think they were going to happen, Andrew. I didn't think they were going to happen, but they'll be probably pretty happy with that. Now, they've been heavily and well supported from some other big acts that are coming on before the Commonwealth Games, and I look at MasterChef, which has just finished up last night. Does everyone know the winner? I suppose they do. Brent won it. What is he? He was a forklift driver, and he beat Laura. So if you've been watching it and you taped it, sorry I've upset you so I've let you know a little too early, or you're planning to watch it later. But they were helped and supported. 1.35 million viewers watched MasterChef last night, and that would have carried on into the viewing of the Commonwealth Games. The numbers, people are getting up to watch it. It is getting seen. It's been a great broadcast, but you know what? What it comes down to is that we've been successful.
Now, I was going to say, there's been a lot of gold, silver and bronze medals for Australia, and that's got to make a difference, doesn't it?
Oh, I tell you what, if the economy's going down, we just need to send our athletes overseas, and they'll come and bring back the gold. There's no problems there. Look, they are winning gold left, right and centre. I mean, we even won the marathon. I mean, who would have thought that?
That did come out of left field, didn't it?
Well, it did, and that starts the track and field competition. And for us to beat the Kenyans and the other African nations, I think, that does suggest that we are in for a very, very big Commonwealth Games. And, look, we always do very well there, but England's getting a lot better. But, look, Channel 10 will be very happy, I think, with so far the results. And on Sunday night, they had one of their biggest nights, and they're continuing on with that success. I'd love to know the numbers. We'll know the numbers very soon for last night's finale there of MasterChef. But, look, that has been a real winner for Channel 10. There's no denying it. As far as reality TV goes, that is one of the big, big shows, particularly for the cooking shows. It is really just a highlight of the year, and I think Channel 10 will walk away and say, look, we've done very well there.
And no doubt it will return later on, probably this year, or certainly next year anyway, won't it?
I think we're going to see it for at least another 3 or 4 seasons. I thought at one point, and probably 2 seasons ago, that it was reaching its end. It was reaching its sort of expiry date, but they've managed to, and I think this is really interesting, is that reality TV really does depend on the talent that comes through, and they really picked a very, very, very talented cooking lot this year. And, I've watched it in the past and gone, I could cook better than this lot. I can cook an egg better than these guys. But this particular crew that's come through this year, they have been very talented, very good. And, look, I think Channel 10 will be very much on the hunt for a very similar group of young cooks to come through, because they've done the numbers, they're doing well, and it's just increasing in popularity.
Yes, I wonder if people are staying up for the games. Well, obviously they are. The numbers, as you say, are good, and a lot of it is late at night still. And what has been the best moment? We might get to call us on that one. We're talking about MasterChef. We've talked about, you want to talk about, I know, Daniel Ricciardo too.
Oh, he's done it again. Daniel Ricciardo. Now, I've been asking every Italian person that I've known. I even rang the Italian consulate today just to make sure that we are saying his name correctly. In fact, I even tweeted Daniel to say, Daniel, are we saying your name correctly? Because I like to be precise in everything that I do.
I know that. We appreciate that so much, Nick.
But it's Daniel Ricciardo, and he is a West Australian boy. He just won the Hungary Grand Prix in a very, very exciting race. One thing that was really good was that I didn't even have an interest in that Grand Prix at all, but I was watching the Commonwealth Games. All of a sudden, they've cut from the Com Games over to the Grand Prix and showed the last 3 laps because we couldn't believe it. He's won it.
I know, well done. And I know, before we wrap up, you want to talk about a 15-year-old, too, that's competing in the Com Games.
Oh, look, and that was a beautiful thing, I suppose, that the whole Com Games has been, is that we've also included the para sports involved in the games. So when the Olympics are on and the Paralympics, we have the Commonwealth Games and the para sports. When you include that in the fixtures there, you get to watch it. And I tell you what, the most inspiring young lady, young Madison Elliott, if you saw her, 15-year-old young swimmer from New South Wales, she broke the world record, but just her reaction when she won, just a beautiful kid, just doing her best and defying the odds. And I think, you know what, that's what the Games is about. That's what's exciting about it. Yeah, I love it. I'll keep watching it.
That's the human element that really does sell it, doesn't it? And has obviously to a lot of viewers around Australia. Thank you so much, Nick. Now, yes, if people would like to talk about Jacquie Lambie, do you feel negative, positive, or neutral about Jacquie Lambie and what she said, or do you think she's just being honest?
Would you take her home to meet Mother?
Well, who knows? 96900 693 is the number. Also, what has been a great moment for you with the Commonwealth Games? Maybe it was Madison Elliott, just like Nick spoke about, but maybe not. Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. I look forward to next week.
Okay, overnight on 3AW and our media guy, Nick Hayes.
3